office. Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
This just seems like filler. Why are we engaging in filler content? I'm actually becoming distinctly displeased. I've not once in recent times considered anything the game did as filler, but that's exactly what this is.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon! Oh, have you seen the article I wrote about you?
I have.
Ha! You've got some nerve! You just used us to make some quick mora!
Can we negotiate a profit split?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to discuss just that. It appears you didn't receive it, though. It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some food.
Really? Oh, you're the best!
You're almost a little too easy to win over,
Right.
Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives, you'd be in trouble now, you know.
Yep.
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking for me?
When Mona mentioned you, we thought of coming to see you at work.
I see. It seems you've already bumped into Mona here in Fontaine. So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're a real daredevil of a journalist.
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with the legendary Traveler and Paimon?
Huh? So your article in the paper today doesn't count?
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and experienced.
This could be a novel, let alone an article. You seriously want to interview me?
Yeah. Are we even qualified enough?
Oui, Paimon, it's me.
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth it. But not right now, of course. I'll need a few days to prepare.
Well, the shit's gonna hit the fan before then.
Oh. In that case, we'll just chat when you have the time then?
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief immediately. I'll have to apply for lighting, a venue, some props, and...
Props.
Whew, so much to get done now. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye. So glad we had
Charlotte,
filler
Paimon's
content.
still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow, what would you do today?
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often, but I've never once thought that the day could be tomorrow. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist first and foremost. That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. And secondly, I wouldn't forsake my homeland that easily. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. In truth, it might be better just to behave like normal rather than worry over such an end. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds a bit sad, but I've always believed that it's best to do what you enjoy. Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish an exclusive interview with a truly unique person, then the story I would wind up writing would truly be timeless. And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations as soon as possible. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic, but I do love my job, and I'd be proud of leaving such an article behind. I guess you could say that I was born to be a journalist. But anyway, that's my answer. And on that note, I'll get back to my preparations.
That's so nice. All of a sudden, Paimon actually kinda envies her. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we?
It's just filler content. If you needed Paimon to come to the conclusion that you should live today because, you know, even if you couldn't tomorrow, you still can today.
The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh?
She could have gotten those words while doing some actual questline work. You know, it could just be a cast-off comment in the grander scheme of things, but it's something that sticks with Paimon. We don't need to be doing this bullshit. This is so dumb. It's such a waste of time. I don't need the calm before the storm. Just get me to the freaking storm.
Paimon's been thinking.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself.
If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow, where would we go and what would we do?
Well, I'm going to teleport to another planet or another realm, and you can go down with the ship.
No, Paimon should ask, if you could choose, What would you like to do?
If I could choose, huh? It's just like Charlotte said, suddenly trying to consider what to do is pointless.
We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. We didn't have to either, with us always being on the road and whatnot.
Until that moment comes, I think I'll keep journeying on.
You mean, still traveling?
Yes, cherishing every single moment that I have to look upon this world.
Oh. Wait, isn't that what we've always been doing?
That's the point, Paimon. The bandit goes back and forth between the two of you as time slips by. As night falls, you return to your accommodations and end this busy day. Yep, cool, great. I'm so glad we're moving on. The next few days are just as calm. Charlotte comes to find you and conducts the interview in the Spin de Rasula safe house at the Fleuve Cendré. Nadia, having finished her visit in Poisson, even drops by to take a photo with the two of you. All goes well. Can we get to the trap already? Stop wasting my time.
Feels
Fuck
like
you,
you'll grow
Paimon.
mold if you stay here long enough. But it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure. It's not only damp there, but salty too.
Weren't you just saying how much you enjoyed being at the fortress? Pick a stance and stick to it, would you?
So the two of you are still here. Wonderful.
Right, we can't seem to get to go anywhere.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillat sent me to look for you two before. I heard that afterward you went to the fortress of Meropide.
Are you under the impression that we might be wanted criminals? Oops, sorry, must have hit my mouse.
Not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Actually, I'm here to pass along a message from him.
Did something happen?
Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom has declared the incident a small-scale riot.
What?
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't personally think it was that serious. Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting during an intermission, some other audience members suddenly started harassing her, loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis.
I told you, you need to use the people to trap Farina. Was I wrong? No.
And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been under due to the prophecy.
So the crime she will have committed is the crime of doing nothing to protect her people. Is that the angle we're going for?
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary. But the moment people feel threatened, gods are also the first to be blamed.
Correct, but Farina's case seems to be extra special because she's taking extra care to make it appear like she's not doing anything.
So what happened after that? Is Farina okay?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was pointless, she claimed that she'd gotten tired of this and left in a hurry. The Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone. Only when things had stabilized did we realize that she had gone missing.
So, you mean she's still missing?
That's right. The Maréchaussée has dispatched many people to search for her, but we don't have any leads yet. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of rioters, what could ordinary people do to her?
That doesn't make it a good situation.
Good. Monsieur Nervillat sent me to tell you about the situation, but he didn't say anything else.
Don't worry, this is more than enough to go on. Thanks for keeping us informed.
Is that so? Well, all right then. In that case, you two take care. I'll be heading back to the Palais now.
Bye. Where would she go?
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then.
You sure catch on quickly.
If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, she'll look for a place to wait out the heat. And as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have a heart of stone. When Nervillet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard about Poisson, she couldn't hide her sadness and remorse. It would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the public today. Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson and try to relieve the sense of guilt that she's feeling. Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up, too. Cool, huh?
I see becoming a detective has done you some good. It looks like this technology had an effect on you.
In that case, there's not a moment to lose. Poisson, here we come!
It's like I didn't even say anything.
This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's
Vincenzo's
left
right
here are
there.
signs of
Is he
devastation.
invisible?
Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
I was just gonna say, I've mentioned this before when we first came to Fontaine and we heard of Poisson, but I cannot take it seriously, and I blame the Little Mermaid for that. Because every time they say it, all I can envision in my head is the scene of Louis chopping the fish. La Poisson, hee hee hee, ho ho ho. You know, it's just like, I can't unsee this image or unhear the song. What is with that big fish? What the heck? Because it's always here? Or is it because it flooded recently?
That's Farina, right over there. She really is here all on her own.
Shh!
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry.
What do you mean,
I'm so
everyone?
sorry.
Look, I don't mean to diminish people's loss, but it's only 12 people. It's not like the entirety of Fontaine just went under.
Give up, Farina. There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry, but what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over?
Farina?
Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina. It's
Jesus,
just
we got
us.
close quickly.
So it is you, blonde traveler from another land. Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Honestly, what needs to be done in this exact moment is something that would never ever happen in this game or anything, but the traveler needs to just walk over to Farina, the Hydro Archon, and give her a hug. That is literally what needs to happen in this moment. She is mourning, she is suffering, she has a bloody heavy weight placed upon her shoulders. She needs some physical comfort right now. She needs a goddamn hug. But that's never gonna happen.
Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it.
Just hug her.
Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment of the arts. They even dare to tout their Archon. I must teach them a lesson. I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize that I'm nowhere to be found. Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Maréchaussée Phantom are freaking out right next to them too.
Jesus, she sounds like she's lost her marbles. Stop trying to act tough, Farina. You're actually beyond devastated right now, aren't you?
Of course not.
It's okay to be devastated. You are the leader and your people are dying.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there!
Oh, hey, hi. How'd you find her?
Quick, after her!
How did you find her? Why would you even think that she would have come to Poisson?
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they?
No, they're really not.
That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Farina just ran off. Quick, we have to catch up with her.
You gotta stop the rabble first. Is she gonna accidentally attack them to defend herself? I'm not quite sure where this is going. We're going to ignore the
This
fact
should
that
be the
you're
place, right?
running on
Hey,
metal.
Verena! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here.
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
Paimon's exhausted.
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me. No, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed.
This place is not what I'd call soundproof. You might want to lower your voice to stay hidden.
You're right.
Yep, that's a good girl.
What's happening? The ground's shaking. Is it an earthquake?
Another disaster just struck, I suspect.
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to
Where?
worry too much about that. Neuvillette made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the people of Poisson...
Has Verena finally reached her limit? Now that she's talking about her actual feelings, she's starting to look far less stiff. You begin to talk amongst yourselves as Verena slowly calms down.
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled.
But even then, you still haven't given up, right?
Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free.
But that would also mean that all hope would disappear.
Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives. But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end. Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all. Don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims of trivial prophecy?
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
We're running out of time. We can't just go back to square one like this. I have to get more information out of her. Verena, you might not have to shoulder this burden alone. Rely on the other Archons! Yeah, that'd never happen. Well, I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a this is a good angle.
A witness. Yes. I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case...
She's not going to. If she's phrasing it that the traveler is the spectator to a show, Farina will not give out the information because a spectator does not want to know what's going to happen before it happens and have it spoiled for them. They would want to experience it as it played out. She won't say anything. She is? I'm surprised, given the phrasing she used. No, she actually was going to, but it's not going to happen. Oh, this was the trap. Wait, I didn't even know the trap was set. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I feel used. I feel seriously used. Farina, please don't blame me. I didn't know about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Focalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
You would draw your blade against a god? I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
Did she really have any other option, Paimon?
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Let's just stop and consider the outcome for a second. The choice here is if she fights, she has to beat Clarence, which means killing Clarence, because I'm assuming that's the only other outcome other than the defendant dying. So, of course Farina's not going to want to kill Clarence in this instance. So yeah, she's going to surrender. What is that going to do with Archons and humans? That's just called having compassion and feelings.
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Oh, shut up.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
Shh! It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time.
Is this when she's now realizing that her part has come to play?
I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson.
Sooner than she expected?
It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in myself.
Wait, this means the Traveler knew about the plan because she led Farina straight into that location. Yet the Traveler was acting all surprised, but the Traveler shouldn't have been surprised if they knew that was part of the plan. That's just confusing.
But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice. This time, I will protect you.
It has to be a willing sacrifice.
Applaud and rejoice. One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalor will now begin!
Bro. Not the time or place.
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes?
No, she knows that this is the time for her to do what she has always known must be done. Her own words.
Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
She's never been more serious in her life, Paimon. She's doing what she must.
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
Someone to represent the people of Fontaine, the knave?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Wait, me? Me? Why me? I ain't even Fontainian. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness of Tivat, my accuser and fated opponent.
Oh, we're not going to our respective booths? We were so close to getting her to tell us the truth, and it still turned out like this in the end. You know, if Linnea just held off for like a minute, we would have gotten something out of her. It's Lenny's fault. It's okay though, as long as we can defeat Farina in court, we'll still have a chance to figure everything out. Okay, we are going to our booths, or our boxes rather.